What's up, everybody? This is an hour before the first fight. Low key, not even that. It's 45 minutes before the first fight. Doing it quick. I was at the cemetery. Sway was like, "Hey, bro, why ain't you do a video?" Being tired ain't no excuse, but long live my brother Sway. Forever till infinity. We miss you. The headstone came out crazy. That shit is beautiful. But long live Sway. I miss you. I can't do this shit without you, but I will. So we're gonna just run down the basically the whole fight night. It's a really bad card. Like, what the fuck are you doing, Dana White? Is something Sway would have been saying. Like why even put on a fucking show if you're gonna have this as the main event? But it's Marcin Tybura versus Sergey Spivak 2. And honestly, guys, I have to tell you this. There's 10 fights. Usually, between pay-per-views and other fight nights, there's at least 12, 13, 14 fights sometimes on those cards. So this is going to be a very slow-paced fight night. So let's hope that there isn't a lot of finishes. Because if there's a lot of finishes, there's going to be a lot of Daniel Cormier and fucking Paul Felder talking bullshit. That's all I'm going to say. But man, I love Yusuf Zalal. He's fucking minus 500 right now. He was minus 380 earlier in the week. The over 2.5 is minus like 220 or something right now. So that leads me to think Jarno Aarons is tough. Like, let me go through these guys first. Zalal, he just had that 4-year layoff, came back, beat Billy Quarantillo. I had him minus 102. I won't forget that pick. But Jarno Aarons, he's a tough motherfucker. You think he's from the Netherlands? I think he's Dutch. But Jarno Aarons is tough as fucking nails. That's why I think that over 2.5 is like where it's at with the big favorite coming in on Zalal. But I'm not gonna lie, Jarno Aarons only 1-2 in the UFC. He took Steven Nguyen to a decision, lost to Song Woi Choi in a decision, and then lost to William Gomez, which isn't a terrible loss to have. But before that, he came from National Fighting Championship 8, which I've never fucking heard of. Yusuf Zalal, in my opinion, alternate method of victory, what's the fuck? I can't talk right now. Just how quick I'm trying to get this done. But I'm on Yusuf Zalal, minus 500. I don't think he finishes him. I think he could just dominate him for 3 rounds because Jarno is tough. And Jarno's only been finished once, and it was a submission. He's never been knocked out before. Zalal is a parlay piece, obviously. Even with that, even give me a minus 3.5. Give me that minus 3.5 at minus 180 for Zalal. But man, it could get dicey with these judges too. Fuck me. You're better off single bet Yusuf Zalal by decision. Jarno is tough as fucking nails. I don't like Jarno, but he's fought. He lost to William Gomez. That's an understandable loss. Song Woo Choi, not so much. But Zalal should get this done. Parlay piece, there's a couple big favorites that are going to win today's card, so you should be able to get plus money if you stack 2 or 3 of them. We're going to run down my bets before the end of the episode, too. But Zalal had a 4-year layoff. This is his second fight back after this 4-year layoff, after facing, what's his name? Billy Quarantillo. Sorry, my fucking Wi-Fi sucks. But look at this. 4 wins by TKO, 0 losses by TKO, 7 wins by submission, 0 losses by submission. And kind of the same thing as Jarno, like both these guys go to decision a lot. 3-5 when it comes to decision. So Jarno has 4 losses that have come by decision, and basically all of Zalal's losses have come by decision. So, out of the 10 losses these two guys have combined, one of them was a submission, the other 9 were decisions. So this fight should go the distance. I actually like that play a lot here. It's just Zalal's not a finisher. Even though he's got fucking 4 knockout wins. Fuck. I think Zalal is really good though. It's like he took a break, but he was in kickboxing. He was still doing some boxing. He just wasn't doing MMA completely, you know. But he had a draw against Damon Blackshear. He lost against Song Woo Choi too. Took Ilya fucking Taporia to a decision. I don't know if it's worth dropping the I think Zalal wins, but those minus 3.5 and how this fight ends up going is Jarno's tough, but he could get finished. I mean, we're gonna go with Yusuf by decision. I don't even like the minus 3.5 that much. That shit could be dicey. You never know. But moving on, next fight we have on this card, I believe it's gonna be Carl Williams versus Jonta Diaz. Jonta Diaz. It's a tough one. But yeah, Carl Williams, wrestle heavy approach. You know, he's gonna blast the double leg, and rightfully so, because his striking isn't that good. Jonta Diaz, I have not seen fight that much, if I'm gonna be completely honest with y'all. Carl Williams was a minus 225 betting favorite. He has since dropped down to a minus 180 betting favorite. I imagine some money's coming in on Diaz. But he's 10-1. He is fighting out of the Virgin Islands. Oh, yeah. This is Carl Williams. He's 34 years old. And 7 wins by decision as a heavyweight. You gotta be a boring-ass motherfucker to be doing that shit. Like, what the fuck? He's got 3 wins by TKO and 1 loss by submission. He's beat Justin Tafa, Chase Sherman, Lucas Bresky. Pretty low-level heavyweights, but in the grand scheme of things, high-level heavyweights. If you had, his only losses came to Jason Butcher. No idea who that is. And he lost to him triangle choke. Probably a really good jiu-jitsu guy. And honestly, Carl Williams, he's kind of new on the scene, but if he keeps staying on this run with his, he's 6'3", 79-inch reach, last weighed in at 243, and yeah, he went 1-0 in the PFL, 1-0 in the Contender Series, and so far 3-0 in the UFC. My gut's telling me stay away from Carl Williams because of that line movement. Why is it going from minus 225 to minus 180 if this guy's 3-0 in the fucking UFC and 5-0 across all major, MMA organizations? Jonata Diaz has to be really good, but he's 33 himself. He's 6'4" with a 79.5-inch reach, and he's only has 7 professional fights. They're all wins, 7-0. They're all knockouts too. So this is gonna be a striker. Usually with these striker grappler matchups is the more experienced fighter in this situation, Carl Williams, should be able to get the takedowns. And with the heavyweights, once they get taken down, it's a lot harder for them to get back up. You know what I'm saying? So I know Austin Lane was able to take down Jonta Diaz in his last fight. Austin Lane used to be in the NFL. He's got some good wrestling credentials, but then he lost. Then he beat him with a right hook or a left hook in the second round. So that just shows some adversity from Diaz. Best play on this fight, man. Just because I'm recording off my phone, I gotta fucking open up stupid DK on here. But man, oh man. Something tells me it's Carl Williams by decision, or Jonathan Diaz by TKO. So that's like an alternate method of a double chance victory. So if you just understood what the fuck I said, I am more confident in Carl Williams. I'm gonna take a wrestler anytime, especially against a guy who's making only his second fight in the UFC. Yeah, he's beat. So he had one fight in the UFC Fight Night against Austin Lane, and then he beat Eduardo Neves on the Contender Series. Before that, he was in Immortal FC, knocking out guys who are 1-0, 1-0, 0-0, 22 and 23. Give me Carl Williams. Give me Carl Williams here. I just talked myself into that. Carl Williams probably by decision too. He's gonna blast those double legs in the first round. He can't get caught, but I do not mind that alternate method of decision. Carl Williams by decision, Jonathan Diaz to win by TKO. You could do that on DK. I don't know what the odds are for it because I'm fucking recording on my phone. Long live Sway. This how we used to do it, OG way. OG and back in the day and shit. You feel me? I should get into UFC soon. Shit. Damn. No, I'm playing, y'all. Next fight. What we got next? I think we got I do want to talk about the Carol Rosa and Penny Kianzad fight. I'm just gonna say Carol Rosa I think is gonna win. I do not have anything else to say about this fight. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Other than I think Carol Rosa is gonna win. Penny Kianzad's not that good. And she ugly as hell. I'm not familiar with these next fighters, Sherlampus Grigoriou and Toshiomo Kazama, so we're gonna stay away from that one. Grigoriou is like a minus 250 favorite. Everybody's on him, so I wouldn't be surprised if Kazama wins, because this is when like the low key. This is like the most low key fight of the fucking year. Like, who the fuck are these people? So we're not talking about that one. Everybody seems to be on Chelsea Chandler because she's a little fucking bigger and has some wrestling. I think Yana Santos is just as big. She's in the best shape of her life. She was looking like Mackenzie Dern up there, y'all. I got Yana Santos minus 150 favorite. I like that a lot. So Yana Santos money line against Chelsea Chandler. I know Chelsea Chandler has been a really popular underdog this week, but not with me. Chris Gutierrez, who is minus 700 right now. In what world is fucking Chris Gutierrez minus fucking 700? If he loses, I'm clipping this. And I'm going to tag him in it. And be like, you lost when you were minus 700. He better not fucking lose. And I need that minus 3.5 from you too, dude. So Chris Gutierrez, minus 3.5. It's like minus 225 odds. Quang Lee, never heard of him. Chris Gutierrez is a good kickboxer. He just like doesn't. I'm gonna steal this from Lucas Tracy MMA. He doesn't know how to impose his will. He's like a very let the fight come to him, not bring the fight to the fight to you know what I'm trying to say. Like he'll let the fight come to him, and he won't go first, basically, is all I'm trying to say. He's like too patient in there. Danny Barlow versus Nikolai Varent. I ain't even gonna try to say that. I'm gonna get my ass fucking beat up if I try to say that name. But Danny Barlow is minus 400 right now. His middle name is Left Hand to God. Danny Barlow by knockout. Or by minus or 3.5. Yeah, Danny Barlow by knockout or minus 3.5. Knockout is plus money, and I am kind of I'm more confident in the minus 3.5, but it's like minus 210. I would say parlay the Danny Barlow minus 3.5 with the Chris Gutierrez 3.5, or something along those lines, like or maybe even Danny Barlow minus 3.5 and Yana Santos. But I would single bet Yana Santos if we're talking, making profits and shit. Fuck. You know what? Carl Williams and Danny Barlow. That's the one. All right, next we got our own Chepe Mariscal, who I was all fucking over all week, man. All over all week. Let me dive deeper into this one. Chepe, he went to Triton College, so he's literally went to school 15 minutes from where I'm recording this. 5'7", 69-inch reach, missed weight by 3.5 pounds. Really 4.5. Missed 149.5 is what he weighed in at. But he does fight with Justin Gaethje at Elevation Top Team. He started off with judo, which I didn't know until I was researching him right now. But he's a good kickboxer. He's been a kickboxing champion. He's wrestled in college, so even though it's a D3 school, but he's very well rounded. In the LFA, he went 2-2, and in the UFC, he went 3-0. 7-3 by knockout, 3-0 when it comes to submission, 6-3 when it comes to decision. He just beat Morgan Charrier in a very close fight. Close fights aren't robberies. Somebody's got to win, but it was close. It was like 50-50. You could have given it to any guy and nobody would be complaining except the people who bet on the guy that lost. Jack Jenkins was kind of a weird win because Jack Jenkins broke his arm. He should have finished Trevor Peek. And then before that, you go back to LFA and Cage Warriors. He's on a 6-fight win streak. He hasn't lost since September 18th of 2020. But the best competitions he's fought is Morgan Charrier, Jack Jenkins, and Trevor Peek. Damon Jackson, 36 years old. He had a receding hairline. That shit was all the way right here. He fixed it. It's all the way back here now. And 146, he made weight. 5'11", 71-inch reach. What is the reach disadvantage here? Because I'm not going to lie, I do love Chepe as a pick, but if it's only 2 inches and a 5'7". I think Chepe's going to get the takedowns, but I do not hate Damon Jackson plus 3.5, man. Like, 4-4 when it comes to TKO for Damon Jackson. 15-1 when it comes to submissions. 4-1 when it comes to decisions. He's 6-4-1 in the UFC. 7-1 in LFA. 2-0 in Bellator. 0-1 in the PFL. His recent opponent, he won a split decision with Alexander Hernandez. Pretty impressive victory, to be honest. He lost to Billy Quarantillo, which shouldn't be happening. Lost to Dan Ige, which should be happening. Beat Pat Sabatini, which I think is impressive because Pat Sabatini has some great chain wrestling. You know what, guys? I do not want to go against Chepe, and I just don't want to go against Chepe. He's from here. Sway always loved riding with Chepe. He's like, this is our guy, and he was our guy. But this is a tough matchup for Chepe. The more I dive down this fight, there's a 4-inch height advantage for Damon Jackson. He is the underdog. The wrestling, like, look, 15-1 when it comes to submissions. Like, what the fuck? That's for Damon Jackson. I mean, Chepe's never been submitted, so he's got good grappling defense, but fuck me and that. You know what, guys? Plus 3.5 Damon Jackson. I mean, I can't go with Chepe. Like, I just can't give it out. There's a 4-inch reach advantage for Damon Jackson. 2-inch reach. 4-inch height advantage and 2-inch reach advantage. And he's fought the better opposition. He's fought guys like Ilya Topuria, even though he lost. He fought Dan Argueta, Pat Sabatini. These are all really good wrestlers. Probably just as good wrestlers as Chepe, and he's beating him. I think this fight goes the distance. That'll be the official pick. And man, I love Chepe, so I'm gonna rock with him. I'm gonna drop money on Chepe. I don't care if I lose that money, but a smart pick is probably plus 3.5 Damon Jackson. Moving on to the fucking main event. I don't even know how much time we got left. We got 20 minutes before this fight card starts. I got Marcin Tybura. I know there's like a fucking 7-year age difference, but man, Marcin Tybura came in at 252 pounds at the weigh-ins. Sergey Spivak came in at 238 pounds. Sergey Spivak's only avenue to winning this fight is using his grappling. Marcin Tybura is clearly a more cleaner striker, even though he kind of has pillow hands for what's it called? For heavyweight. My ass be blanking sometimes. My ass gonna die soon or something. Marcin Tybura, 25-8 overall. He already got the dub over Sergey Spivak. I'm just gonna run down the rundown real quick. And he's 38. He's 6'3" with a 78-inch reach. Fighting out of Poland. Current fight streak is 1 win. 8-5 when it comes to KO, TKO. 8-0 when it comes to submission, and 9-3 when it comes to decision. This guy is well-rounded. He just beat Tai Tuivasa. Before that, lost to Tom Aspinall, but like understandable. And then his other loss is to Volkov. So he's beating the guys he should beat. Sergey Spivak got on a little hot streak. And like, alright, let me just go. Alright, hold on, guys. These are the names that Tybura has lost to since 2017. I know it's going back like 8 years, but Derek Lewis, round 3, he got knocked out. Fabricio Verdum lost in a unanimous decision. Lost to some guy named Shamil. You know that motherfucker could wrestle. He lost to Augusto Sakai. That pretty decent at. He was 13-1 at the time. And then he goes on to beat Ben Rothwell, Greg Hardy, Walt Harris, loses to Volkov, beats Alexander Romanov, beats Blagoy Inanov, loses to Tom Aspinall, and beats Tai Tuivasa. I don't think he's really taken a step down, and I think his versatility, he has 8 wins by TKO, 8 wins by submission, and 9 wins by decision. I think he's a great underdog play this week. Sergey Spivak, I think, has improved since the first fight, but he just got his ass handed to him by Cyril Gane. I get it was in France, and the motherfucker looks like he was in the movie The Hills Have Eyes. Like, it's all, I mean, it's true. He lost to Cyril Gane, lost in the second round, but before that, he was on a 3-fight win streak against Lewis, Sakai, and Hardy, kind of the same names that Tybura beat, but he lost to Aspinall. He just lasted a minute longer. So what the fuck? Like, I think Tybura's got cleaner striking. I think Tybura has a 78% takedown defense, which proves he's not just like some scrub that's gonna get taken down. And the cleaner striking is the only reason we're on Tybura. It's heavyweights. Anybody could find a knockout punch, including Spivak. But we're going to do Marcin Tybura for the main event. Hey, man, he's 7-4 in the UFC. I'm sorry, guys. He's 12-7 in the UFC. Sergey Spivak's 7-4 in the UFC. So it's an equal. I think the odds should be honestly more even. We're going with Marcin Tybura. Let me run this bitch back real quick. I love Youssef Zalal today, and if you want to take that minus 3.5, I don't love it, but to give you some fucking odds on it, I guess. Or is Zalal by decision, single bet. I like Carl Williams. I think he's fought the better competition. I get it. Jonathan Dinez is a crazy striker. But alternate method of victory for that one, what you could do is Diaz by TKO or Carl Williams by decision. I could see that happening. I see that being a very likely, like that's the only way either guy's winning. We're gonna go with Carol Rosa money line against Penny Kianzad. The Gregorio got. I mean, I stayed away from that fight. I like Yana Santos. Chandler's a popular dog this week. But I still like Santos. I like Chris Gutierrez here to win by decision or -3.5. Just never heard of this Quang Lee guy, and like I didn't even break this shit down. But let's just say the last guy he fought was 6-3, 6-3, 4-3, 4-10. Yeah. Gutierrez by decision. I like that a lot. He just doesn't impose his will, as Lucas Tracy says. So it's like, you know what I mean? Like, how can I trust a guy to get a knockout or a win inside the distance if he's not a finisher and he just like is very patient? So I'll take Chris Gutierrez, even the -3.5 or by decision. We'll take Danny Barlow. We can single bet knockout, or we can you can parlay the -3.5 with something. It's probably around -230. Man, guys, this fucking Damon Jackson Chepe Mariscal fight. I like Damon Jackson plus 3.5. I'm still gonna bet money on Chepe because I love Chepe. He missed weight though, 3.5 pounds. He did not look good on the scale. Damon Jackson has 15 submission wins out of his 23 wins. Chepe's gonna be the better striker though. So like you could get like a alternate method here too, where Damon Jackson submission or Chepe by decision, because I don't see him finishing Damon Jackson after how he looked yesterday. If he's gonna get a win, it's gonna be a grinded out 29-28 decision. I like Damon Jackson plus 3.5 a lot though. I also am betting Chepe, so it's not very logical, but that's the way I'm gonna do it. And I like Tybura, underdog pick for the main event. I'm gonna get back on it, man. I visited Sway today at the cemetery, and it was just we need to keep this channel going. Marcos posted today, we're doing a fantasy football league, 10-man. Anybody interested in joining who is cool with Sway, tap in, But feel free to DM throughout the fight card. I'll be watching it all day. If you have any questions about picks, about what I think is going to happen in a certain fight, just shoot a DM to the Pickpocket Podcast. Keep our engagements high. All that. Cheers to y'all. Long live Sway. Sway forever. I miss you so much, dog. Like my brother, man. My brother, man. But peace. Like, subscribe, share, y'all. Peace.